Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever found yourself glued to the World Cup, or Wimbledon, or even the Ryder Cup, you've actually been part of a story that, believe it or not, started in one place, the United Kingdom. So today, we're going to dig into how Britain became this unlikely architect of the games the entire planet now plays.
So let me ask you something. Think about football, cricket, rugby, tennis, and golf. These are sports loved and played by literally billions of people on every single continent. What's the one thing, the one common thread that ties them all together?
Yep, that's it. They all have a British birth certificate. Every single one traces its modern origins right back to Britain, where the rules we all know today were first written down and organized. But the real question is, how? How did one nation have such a massive impact? That's the story we're getting into. All right, so let's start at the very beginning. We're going to do a quick tour through the origins of some of the world's biggest sports, tracing them all the way back to their British roots.
First up, the big one, football. It's without a doubt the UK's favorite sport. And look, while people have been kicking balls around for centuries, it was really in the late 19th century that the professional clubs and the rules that make up the beautiful game really started to take shape.
And right around that same time, another hugely popular game was being created in England, rugby. It eventually split into two different codes, Union and League, and each one has its own super passionate fan base and its own unique set of rules.
Okay, from the pitch to the court. The very first tennis club was founded in a place called Leamington Spa way back in 1872, and that really marked the formal beginning of the modern game that we see played at Grand Slams all over the world today. And with golf, we have to go even further back, all the way to 15th century Scotland. Its spiritual home, the iconic town of St. Andrews, isn't just a historical footnote, it is still a pilgrimage site for golfers from all over the globe.
What's really interesting is how deep this stuff runs in the culture. Take cricket, for example. It's so tied to this idea of fair play and being a good sport that it's actually become part of the English language. If something feels unfair, you might literally hear someone say, "Well, that's just not cricket." So Britain pretty much gave the world the rule books, but its influence definitely did not stop there. It also provided the stage, becoming a world-class host for some of the absolute biggest sporting events on the planet. 3. Just remember that number. That's how many times the United Kingdom, and London specifically, has hosted the Summer Olympic Games. That's a feat that very, very few countries can claim. And each one of those games tells its own incredible story. You got the first one back in 1908, then the Austerity Games in 1948, which kind of helped bring the world back together after the war, and then, of course, the spectacular modern show in 2012, where Team GB finished an amazing third in the medal table.
But the Olympic story in Britain has another massive chapter, because another vital, world-changing sporting movement also has its roots right there, the Paralympic Games. And this story is it's truly remarkable. It all starts with one man, Dr. Sir Ludwig Guttmann at Stoke Mandeville Hospital. He had this pioneering idea to use sport, not just for fun, but as a really powerful form of therapy for his patients with spinal injuries. And that revolutionary idea, it grew from a small local competition into the massive global Paralympic movement we celebrate today. Just amazing.
Of course, you can't have great games and great events without great athletes. So let's turn our attention to some of the absolute icons who have written their names into British sporting history forever.
Just look at this list for a second. This is a snapshot of pure greatness. You've got people who shattered what we thought were human limits, like Sir Roger Bannister running the 4-minute mile. You have national heroes like Bobby Moore. And then you have these paragons of pure dominance, like Sir Steve Redgrave in rowing and the incredible Paralympic trailblazer, Baroness Tawny Gray-Thompson.
And what I absolutely love about this is the sheer range of talent. On one hand, you have the explosive, raw power of a track cyclist like Sir Chris Hoy just owning the velodrome. And on the other, you have the unbelievable mental and physical endurance of Dame Ellen MacArthur, sailing all by herself around the entire globe faster than anyone had ever done before. It just shows you the incredible breadth of what a champion can be. So, okay, we've covered the origins, the huge events, and the legends. But how does this all tie together today? Let's take a look at how sport is just woven into the very fabric of modern British life. And this history, it's not sitting in a museum somewhere. It is a living, breathing part of the culture. You feel it in the roar of the crowd at Wembley. You see it in the annual tradition of the university boat race. And you see its global reach with the Premier League. From royal events to some of the fiercest rivalries in sports, it's a thread that connects everything.
And that brings us to one final thought. The UK may have given these games their start, but the world took them, adopted them, and made them their own. So in this age of international leagues and global superstars, what does it really mean for a sport to be British anymore? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining us.